show centers around a lovely peach. And this is winter time, and we're going to make a beautiful white chocolate peach mousse cake. And naturally what you have to do is peel the peaches, but it's a lot easier. You'll see that canned peaches have too much liquid in them, and this is what you need to use. So let's begin by going over here, and I'll show you the first step. We'll take it slowly. This is a couple of tablespoons of cold water. Going to put it in a little larger bowl and take a half a tablespoon of gelatin and just sprinkle it in and let it rest while you're doing the next step. That's all. Just leave it there and you'll see how important this is. Now here's a nice bowl of sliced peaches, and as you see, they're a little bit light in color, so I'll show you what I'm going to be doing shortly. Take the peaches, add 1/4 cup of sugar, and wait until the sugar dissolves. It's nice to see that peaches are available during the winter months, and they are in abundance in most of your supermarkets. And what we're going to do is take these slices and put them in a blender and puree them. And eventually that gelatin mix that I just showed you in the beginning will be poured over it, and you'll let it stay while you begin to make the crust. And the crust is a graham cracker crust. Now I just noticed I had a little piece of skin, so we want to make sure that we don't have any skin. And you see, this is pretty well dissolved. It's bubbling a little bit, and it's ready to be puree. Okay, here we go. I'm going to add a few drops of red food coloring just to give it a little bit more vibrancy. So let's see what happens. I'll just check to make sure. Looks good. So I'll put it in a bowl. Good. And now I'm going to go back to the gelatin so that I can heat her up and add the gelatin into this mixture. Okay, as you see, I have the gelatin in the bowl over simmering water, and you see how it is now liquid. And I'm going to take and put it, just drizzle it all over the peach puree. And while I continue making the rest of the cake, this will rest. So now I'm just going to prepare another gelatin mix. Again, the cold water and the gelatin, and you let it rest for about 5 or 10 minutes again. And this is for the white chocolate mix that you'll see I'll be preparing soon. But the thing I'm going to do next is make the graham cracker crust. So let this rest. So now you see I have a springform pan, and I'm going to prepare a graham cracker crust for this. I'm using 1 package of graham crackers, but because I like a little thicker crust, I'm actually adding in 3 more graham crackers, and that's up to you. If you want a thinner crust, you can definitely just use 1 package. But I will add in 3 more. There. Now we'll take and grind them up. Pretty good. And yeah, it does. It looks very good. And now what I'm going to do is add some melted butter and blend it again. Good. And I'll remove the blade, so I'll be very careful. And you add in the mix. This has to chill for around 20 minutes. It could be longer too. If you'd like to chill it longer, that's fine too. And have to make sure that you press it all around. So there are different ways of doing it. You can first press it down with a spatula, and then if you want to get the center to be a little bit more even, you can take and use either a flat spoon, like a serving spoon, or I even have a little cup here, and you can go around and just make sure that you pat it all in evenly, so you can decide what's best for you. I do find that this spoon is fine. And here again, make sure you press it in very well, and you won't be sorry when this is complete. And now we put it in the refrigerator and go to the white chocolate phase. Now for the white chocolate filling, you're going to take cubes of white chocolate. This is what they look like. And I already have them broken up. So I'm just going to gently put them in a bowl with a pot that has some simmering water, and I'll take 5 ounces of whipping cream, add it in, and now I'm going to stir it and make sure that it's all blended in. Then I'll add the gelatin mix and let it cool. So this will take a while, but I just wanted you to see what it looks like. You can see how there are just a few pieces of chocolate left to be blended in. So while that's happening, I'm going to go over and add again the gelatin mix, gelatin and water, into a simmering pot. Let it liquefy, and once it is liquid, I'll take this out and pour that over the chocolate, white chocolate mix. Now see this? It's just about ready. Just make sure it's completely dissolved. The gelatin mix is diluted, and I'm taking it over to the chocolate mix, letting it drizzle in. And if you notice, I have put the white chocolate mix on a rack so that it'll cool a lot faster. But now is where your patience comes in, and you'll have to wait a bit for it to cool off. So now for the white chocolate mousse filling, I'm going to be adding cold whipping cream. Now to pour it, the first layer, into the graham cracker crust. And now this goes into the refrigerator, and we let it solidify. As you can see, here's the peach puree, and I'm going to add it in to this whipped cream. I just want to make sure it's nice and firm. Okay, here it goes. And you mix it in real well. Good. And now, here we have the white chocolate, and I will add the peach puree. Oh, does that look good? And you can see little pieces of peach. Want to make sure that it's well blended. It has such a beautiful odor too, with the whipping cream and the fresh peaches. And now this will have to remain in the refrigerator at least 4 hours, if not overnight. And I prefer doing it overnight. Then it really is easier to get a good slice. There's that. And spread it out evenly. And then when it's completely done, I do add a little peach garnish on the top. And you just wipe it around. Sure it's completely in, and there's the white chocolate peach mousse cake. Okay, I just want to show you that this was chilled overnight, and it is solid. But before I take it out, I want to prepare a little glaze over the peaches that I'm going to put as a garnish in the middle. So follow me over to the fry pan, and I'm going to start out with some juice. I chose pineapple juice, and I'll take a teaspoon of cornstarch and a little bit of lemon juice, as well as a tablespoon of sugar, and that's it. And I'll bring it to a boil, and then I'll cook it just for 2 extra minutes, and this will serve as a wonderful glaze for the peach slices. And just remember, don't buy canned peaches, because canned peaches have a lot of excess liquid, and that is not good for the contents of the cake itself, as well as the garnish on top. So stay with fresh peaches. As you can see, it's a nice thick gel. And so what I need to do now is just let it cool. And that's perfect for spreading over the peaches. If you want to cool down the glaze rather quickly, I have a little ice water in the green bowl, and I'm just putting the glaze in a glass dish within the green bowl. So it should be ready to be used. Now I'm going to remove it from the pan, and I have a warm to hot glass of water, so I can take and go right around the cake very easily to loosen it up, and that should be all set. Now we open her up carefully and hope for the best. Slowly. Now the glaze has been cooled off, and I'm taking and just adding a little bit. You can see that there's a sheen to these peaches. Also, if you notice, the peaches are a nice color because I took a drop of red food coloring with a little bit of water, diluted it, and dipped each one in. So see how they actually have a glaze, and they also have a deep, rich tone. So I'll add them to the very top, and it'll finish off this lovely dessert. That is more than enough. I think that, 8 peach slices, really, they don't overcrowd it. And now the fun starts with cutting it and see what it looks like in the middle. Okay, here goes. How's that? You can see the graham cracker crust, the white, the peach, and we can always add a little fleck of garnish. So there is the first slice. I just added a little garnish to my slice of cake, and it came out beautiful. Now, I know there's a little bit of work involved, but it's worth it. And so I recommend you try it and enjoy. I look forward to seeing you next time.